Well, hi there. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these retro hippie shorts. And what we're going to need for these shorts is it's worsted weight yarn that I've used. You can use cotton. I've used acrylic here. And worsted weight yarn is any yarn that has the number 4 on it. So here we've got the number 4 here. This is Bernat Super Value. You can use Impeccable by Loops and Threads, because that's also got the number 4 on it here. Worsted weight yarn, it's Aran in the UK, but in Canada and the United States, we call it number 4 worsted weight yarn. So you're going to need some colors. You're going to need your main color for your body. I use cerise. Then you're going to need some brown or some 1, 2, 3 sort of different colors for your border and for your granny square pocket. Okay, then you're also going to need a number 5H crochet hook, some scissors, and a yarn needle. So to start off, we're going to chain 102. So we're going to start off with a slip knot, which I like to make by just passing the yarn over. I've got that in a few other tutorials. Now we're going to chain 102, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I will continue chaining until we get to 102, and I'll meet you back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to run my hands through the chain all the way down, making sure that the V's are all facing up. Because I'm going to join these together to make the waistband, and I don't want any twists. This used to be the trickiest thing for me when I first started to do these sorts of projects in the round. Okay, then we're going to put the hook through and yarn over and pull it through. Now we have a loop, and I'm going to chain up 2. Okay, so we have a nice loop there for our waistband. And now I'm going to double crochet into the next one. And double crochet into the next one. You put your hook through, you grab the yarn, pull it through, grab the yarn, pull it through 2, pull it through 2, so double crochet. All right, so we are going to go all the way around, and we are going to be double crocheting. Okay, so I'll meet you back when I've finished this, and the great thing is you can stop the video and finish your row and pick back up with me when you're done. Okay, so I'll see you at the end. So here we are at the end of the first row, and I'm going to just at the top of the chain 3, or chain 2 rather, I'm going to just stitch those 2 together. So now we're going to chain up 2, and this time we're going to go through the back loop only. Okay, so we're going to look at it this way, and we're going to go right into there in the back loop and double crochet. You'll see that there's 2 stitches there, and we're not going into this one, we're going into the back one. Okay, but I have to put the yarn over first. Yarn over into the back loop and do a regular double crochet. Yarn over, go into the back loop, and what that does is it just gives it a nice different kind of a finish. These shorts are very popular when we're at the market. I sell them at the farmers market on Main Island, and I made them in pumpkin, different colors last year, but I thought I'd like to try them in this color. So we're going to do up to the 15th row. So we've done 1, so we need 14 more rows like this. We go all the way around, we slip stitch into the top here, and just keep going, okay, with our stitches. Okay, I'll meet you at the end of row 15. So here we are with the shorts. This is from the top down to 15. So we've got down to the end of our 15th row, and you can see how the seam looks pretty straight by using that technique. So what I'm going to do now is I actually need to reattach this to some yarn. So now to make the crotch for the hippie shorts, we are going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had to attach some yarn there. That's okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we have to count around 51 stitches so we can find where we are going to attach. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, and 51. So into the top of this number 51, we are going to attach the other side of the chain 12. So this is by putting it into here, and we're going to slip stitch it, and this chain 12 is going to be the basis of the crotch. Okay, so now we're going to chain up 2, and we're going to start to do the first leg. We're going to double crochet into the back loop only all the way around until we come to this chain. So here we are up at the place where the chain stitch has gone in. So I'm going to just finish off into the last back loop only, and then I'm going to double crochet across the 12 stitches of the chain. It's going to get tricky around this knot here. Eleven and 12. Okay, and then as those are done, we are going to attach it to the top of the chain 2 that we had at the beginning of that row. And we are going to be fastening off here because now we are going to start the border. So now we're ready to do the fun stuff, the hippie stuff. We are going to be using these colors. We're going to do the border around the legs, okay? So we're still using our H hook, but we are going to be using these colors, okay? So the first color that we're going to be using is going to be the white, the creamy color. And we are going to chain 2 and double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so I'm going to add in my yarn here. And we're going to chain 2. And we're going to double crochet into the same stitch that we chained into there. Okay, and then we are going to skip the next stitch and do 2 double crochets. We're going to make a shell in the next stitch. So we're going to skip 1 and then do a double crochet in here and another one. We're going to skip a stitch and do 2 in the next one. All the way around. Okay, so I'll meet you when I finish this. As you can see, we've gone right across that crotch area with a skip 1 and then 2 double crochet shell into the next stitch. Oops, sorry. Now we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that, and then we are going to cut that off. Weave that in later, right now. Okay, so we're going to be moving on now to our second color here, which is going to be the brown. And we're going to attach the brown. So we've chained 2, and now we're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet, which is here. Slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 2. And we're going to double crochet into the space there. Double crochet. Okay, so that's going to get us started on this row. Okay, and now we're going to make 2 double crochet shells in between the next space here. 1, 2. That's a shell. And then we're going to skip along to the next one, and we're going to do 2 into there. 1, 2. And we're going to skip along to the next space here. Shell of 2, 1, 2, and that's what we're going to do all the way around. And I'll meet you back when I finished. Okay? At the end of this row, where we've been making the 2, and I've been going right into the space. I haven't been going into this little space in here. I've been going right into the space. It makes it a more dramatic border that way. So here's our last one. 1 and 2, and then we're going to go into the top. All right, and we're going to be able to finish that one off. So I'm going to add in my green next, okay? The green, and I've chained up 2, and now I need to slip stitch into the next double crochet, chain 2, so I'm going to slip stitch into the next double crochet, chain 2, and then do a double crochet into the space, and then we are going to start to do the 2 shells in between. The shells, and go all the way around doing exactly the same as we did in the last row. 2 shells into each stitch. It's only at the beginning that we have that weird little thing going on, but that's okay because that's underneath your leg anyway, so you're not going to see it. So go all the way around doing these 2 shells, and I'll meet you. So here we are, and we're back at the end of the row. Again, we've just done our 2, and there's the 2, so we are just going to chain into the top up here, slip stitch rather, and we're going to cut this off and pull it through. So I'll just show you what we've got. This is how the legs are looking, like this. So the final row on the border of these legs is going to be the brown, and we're going to join in the brown, and we are just going to single crochet all the way. I've joined in the brown, and I've just chained up 1 because we're single crocheting, right? So we're just going to go into each of the stitches around and do a single crochet. So we'll just work our way through here. And now we're on to the stitches. I think my dog is trying to come downstairs. So we just, each of these stitches around, we are going to do a single crochet, and I'll meet you back. Here we are, back at the end, and I am just going to slip stitch into there, cut that off, flip through, and this is the border. You can choose whatever colors you want. You can go with the yellow or turquoise or anything like that. I thought I'd try the green on here. I hope it's going to work okay. So we have to go and do exactly the same thing on the other side, okay? So you can just play it back and do exactly the same thing at the other side. We have to, first of all, get the fuchsia and do a chain of 12 across. So I'm just going to attach it here at the base of where the other chain went. Alright, and I'm going to chain 12. I'm standing up at my table here, so I get a little bit out of camera sometimes, and I apologize for that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we've got our 12. So we're going to take it across to the other side, and we're going to go right into that stitch on the other side, and we're going to chain up 2, and we're going to do a back loop, double crochet into the back loop all the way around. Okay, so here we go. Turn it round, and we're going to do double crochets into the back loop all the way around until we get to the crotch, and then we're going to go over the crotch and join up with a slip stitch to the top of this chain 2, and then you're going to do the border as previously described. So I'll probably come back just to talk you through the end of this one, and then I'll leave you to do the border on your own. Okay? Okay, so we're coming up to the chain 12 for the crotch area. So I'm just doing my back loop, double crochets into these stitches here. and I'll do one in there, and then we're going to go across the chain. One, two, three, and four. You can see I'm holding it with the V's up, right? So I can see where I'm going. 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, then we are going to find that chain 2 at the beginning of that leg, and we're going to slip stitch into that, and then we're going to cut that off, ready to start with a fancy border, which will be, the first row will be with the white. Okay, so you're going to join in your white and start to work on your border for the second leg, and I'll see you when you finish. So here's the shorts with the borders done on each leg. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do this crotch area here. Okay, so I'm going to attach the fuchsia, the red color, to the bottom here. I think I'll do it there. I'm going to pull it through. And pull it through. Right, and now I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm just going to double crochet up the 12 chains that make up this crotch area, okay? That's 1. 2. We're going on the inside of the chain, right, this time, so there's not really, we just have to look at the chain and go right into that one area. We're just going to be picking up one piece of yarn every time. That's 3. 4. 5. Sorry about this, I keep losing them. I'm standing over my yarn so I can hopefully, you can see better what we're doing, but it's not a natural way to be crocheting. Pick up this one, and then pick up this one. Double crocheting all the way down the other side of the chain. So we're working on the inside of this crotch area. I'm just going to show you this side, and then I'll show you how to get across and do the other side. See where we're at. Okay. So I think we've got one more here that we can do. was actually working with the J hook, which was the wrong hook. You should have been doing it with the H. So I've just swapped over. So the other shorts that I make with a J. So now we're just going to skip over to this side and start going down here, double crocheting all the way down. And once you've got all the way down to the other side, we're just going to fasten it off. So here we go, nearly down to the other side. Then we fasten it off, and then we have to turn it right sides together and whip stitch down the middle of the crotch, and our shorts are completed, and we just have to work on the belt and on the patch for the pocket if you want to put a granny square patch on. Now we're at the end, you can see. So I'm just going to slip stitch it to the top there, and then fasten it off. I don't have scissors. And I'll show you. We're going to then turn it right sides together like this, and we're going to stitch with a whip stitch up that middle section. Okay, and then that will be your crotch done, and we have our shorts. And so we need to do a belt for the top and a granny square. I have one here, and this is kind of the colors that match with the bottom. So now we're going to make the pockets for the shorts. So we're going to make a granny square, so I'm going to start off with a slip knot, my H hook, and this is I'm working with the 3 colors that are on the bottom trim. So I'm going to work with cream, chocolate brown, and this avocado sort of color. Okay, so I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then join them together with a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to find the little hole here, right there, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets into that hole. I'm going to hold that string down so we can kind of wrap it up. So that's 1, 2. I'm going to chain 1, then I'm going to go 3 double crochets. Now 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to chain 1. And the reason I'm chaining 1 is because each of those places where there's a chain 1 is going to be a corner of the granny square. Now I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. You can see I'm crocheting around that tail. And I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do the final 3. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. No, I don't need to chain 1 because, yeah, no, I do. Chain 1. And we're going to slip stitch it into the top of the third three chains that we started with, because that acts as the first double crochet. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to fasten this off, and we're going to add another color. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this and add my new color. So you join your new color and you chain 3, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets. We're doing this in the chain 1 space that is our corner, right? Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And unlike some granny squares where you chain in across the top of your cluster, we're not going to do that because we want this pocket to be a dense fabric with not a lot of holes in it. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space, chain 1 for the corner, and then do 3 more. This is our double crochet, a cluster or shell stitch, 3 stitches into the same space. Now we're not going to chain 1, we're just going to go straight over to the other place where we had a chain 1 for the corner, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and chain 1 because it's a corner, and then do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Now remember, you can pause the video if I'm going too fast, okay? Now we're not going to chain 1, we're just going to skip straight over to the other corner, and we're going to yarn over and do 3 double crochets in there, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry I had to stop there and attach a bit more yarn. So if you wonder where the extra yarn came from, I ran out of brown. So chain 1, and now we're going to do 3 more into that same space, okay? 1. We can tie those ends in later. 2 and 3. So there is our corner. 3, chain 1, 3, and we're going to go over to this other corner, and we're just going to chain into the top of, slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 that we started with. Slip stitch it, and we're going to cut it, and we're going to fasten it off, and we're going to add our new color, okay? So there we go. And now we're going to add in the green, this beautiful green. So I start off with a slip knot, which I've already got done here. And we're going to go into this corner here and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 2 more double crochets. 1, 2. And now we're going to chain 1 because this is a corner and do 3 more double crochets into there. 1, 2, 3. So that's your other corner. Now we're going to not chain 1, we're just going to go straight across into this space here and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And straight across into this corner space, yarn over and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 3 more into the same space. These are called a shell sometimes. When you do a lot of double crochet stitches into one stitch. Okay, now we're going to yarn over and go straight into this space here. 1, 2, 3. And then straight over into the next corner, yarn over and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and a chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go along the side. We're not going to chain, we're just going to yarn over and go straight into that space. 1, 2, 3, and we're going over into our last corner, yarn over and do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and then straight into this space here, 1, oh, I'm going to run out of yarn again. Sorry about this. The reason I'm running out of yarn is because I'd filmed this previously, but I'd missed out one of the corners. So when I cut off the yarn, now of course I don't have enough to do a complete round. So that's what's happening here, why I'm running out and having to do these tie-ins, which wouldn't normally be something you would do in the middle of a granny square. Now we're going to skip over these two, and here we have the first chain 3 of this round. So we're going to put our hook through and slip stitch, and we're going to fasten it off. All right, so that's the next round. So let's make sure we've got corner, one cluster, corner, one shell, corner, another shell, corner, another shell. Okay, so now we're going to go into our 1, 2, 3, 4th round. I've got my new color. It's going to go back to the cream from the middle, and I've chained 3, and now I'm going to do 2 more double crochets into this corner space, chain 1, and then 3 more. Now you notice as each round goes along, you get more spaces. So this time we've got 2 spaces along the side that we're going to do shells of 3 crochet into. So we'll go 3 into here, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go 3 into this one, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to go into the corner. So we go 3, a shell of 3, a chain 1, and another shell of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. Okay, then we're just going to go yarn over, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into the next space, 1, 2, 3, and into the next space, 1, 2, 3, and then into the corner, 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and a chain 1, and 1, 2, 3 to finish our corner. So I'm going to go along here. I'm going to do a cluster of 3 shells in each of those spaces, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the corner, and then down the side in each of your spaces do 3 double crochets until we get to the end, and I'll join you back. Okay, so I've just finished all the way around, and now I'm going to find my chain 3 at the beginning, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top there, and I'm going to cut my yarn and fasten off and get my last color, which will be the chocolate brown. So finally we're at the last round here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds, and this is going to be the last round, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I've added my chocolate brown and I've chained 2, and what we're going to do now is actually just go all the way around into every single little stitch that you can see around the top. So that'll be every 3 at the top of each of these 3 clusters, and then we'll go a stitch into the 3 at the corner, and then we'll make 3 half double crochets. We're going to work in half double crochets in the corner. Okay, I'll explain it when we get to the corner. Okay, so I've chained 2. So into this first, it's right in front of the actual double crochet here. There's a little stitch right in front of it. Okay, so we're going to go into there, and we're going to do a half double crochet where we just pull it through all 3. And then we yarn over for the half double crochet, but we just go straight in to the next stitch here, and we half double crochet, and this is going to make a solid border all the way around. Half double crochet, half double crochet into each stitch as we go around. Hope you can see that. The stitches are pretty defined. You can see them there, the V's at the top. So I'm going to half double crochet into each stitch across. Now we're in this thing here in the corner, and what we're going to do is we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to find that first double crochet and not go after it, but find that little loop that's just before it, and we're going to put our hook in there and do a half double crochet there, and then into each stitch along the other side until we get to the next corner where there's a chain 1 space, and into that chain 1 space we're going to do 3 half double crochets to get around the corner. Okay, so I'll let you go around and I'll meet you back at the end. So at the end I've just done 2 half double crochets into my final square and joined it to the chain 2 that I did at the beginning. And now I'm going to leave a really long tail to fasten off, and this can be used for sewing the pocket on to the shorts. So that's a really cute little granny square. And you can just use your yarn needle to thread in your ends at the back. Okay, and we're going to attach this to the shorts. So I'm filming this freehand so I can show you where to put your pocket onto your shorts. I've got the front here. You'll know it's the front because it doesn't have the seam going up the middle. So if you count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, there's the line that's formed when you do your back loop only stitch, and that's where you're going to line up the top of your pocket. And then you can pin it or use crochet hooks to pin it. Sometimes that's what I use. And then we use our long thread to stitch it onto your pair of shorts. Okay, so that's how we attach the pocket. So for the belt, you can crochet your belt. You can make a chain of 140 for the small and medium, or you can chain 150 for the large and 160 for the extra large. And once you've done your chain, you can just slip stitch down the chain to create your belt, which will be a really nice belt. But there's another way to make a belt, and that is by braiding, and that's the one that's in the picture that I'm showing you. So for the braided belt, you're going to need to get yourself some strands of yarn, and you need 2 strands of yarn for each color. So I've got 2 whites, 2 turquoise, and 2 red, because I've run out of the yarn that I actually made my shorts that I use for my video. So I'm just going to demo with these different color yarns. Okay, so you get those 2 strands of each of the 3 colors of your border, and then you attach one length to something like a door handle, or it can be a chair, something that's going to hold it in place. I'm going to pin it down. So I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm going to take all of my strands and pull them through like that. And then I'm going to take that knot and I'm just going to pin it down to my table. This is working table, so this is good. And then you're going to start to braid, and if you've never braided before, you just take 2 strands. I might take a blue and a red together, and a red and a white, and a blue and a white. Okay, and I'm just going to take those together like this. And braiding involves separating out your strands and then just holding one in the middle, going over, and that brings the middle one to the side. Then you bring the other one over, and then make sure that it's tight, and then over from the outside, always going over the middle one, but then pulling the middle one out. So we're going down, and we will just braid all the way down here to make your belt. You can add the color of your shorts into your braid as well, which will make it a thicker braid. I think the one in my picture, I actually have the 3 colors from the border and 1 color from the actual body of the shorts. So I had 4 different colors. Okay, so you just braid all the way down like this, braiding all the way down until you get to the end, and then just tie a knot in the end, just like you've got the knot in this end. So then what we've got is this beautiful braid. This is the one that's got the 4 colors, and then you just start at the middle at the front, and you go into the middle. You have these open holes that are created by the double crochet. It's just not the first row, the second row. You go in, you skip 2, go over 2, go under 2, go over 2, all the way around till you get to the other end. So here we are. I'll just show you how I finish it off. I'm going to skip 2, push that knot down, and then skip 2 underneath and push the knot up. So we're weaving it in and out of our double crochet with 2 double crochet in between each changeover. So down, then under 2 and up, over 2 and down, under 2 and up. And now we have our belt in place. And you can tie it. And we have our shorts are all finished. Okay, these are the Retro Hippy shorts. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this pattern. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will be adding more patterns. I've been missing in action for a while. I've been devoting my time to creating patterns, writing patterns, and getting them up in my Etsy shop and onto my blog. So you can find my blog at carawaycrochet.com. And everything I do on social media is Caraway Crochet. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy these shorts. And if you share them on Instagram, don't forget to tag me, Caraway Crochet. Thank you.